Yeah.
Bingo bongo. Perfect.
Bingo, bingo bongo, indeed.
About that
Okay.
AMD, huh?
Yeah, big gap up.
There you go.
Mm. Scroll through here for a second. Back up. How you doing, everybody? Good morning.
Good morning, good people.
Just reading through some of the movers this morning.
Yeah, a couple earnings. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
Nothing, I'd say super notable. Obviously, AMD, ON's gapping up on earnings a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing much. Not much this morning.
Circles gapping down. So I actually think I don't know how much of that is, specifically related to earnings. I think there was also a JP Morgan headline. I think that was this morning, wasn't it? To where
On what?
JP Morgan's launching like JPM coin for institutional clients that will be um
Yeah,
on
JPM coin. Yeah. I think I,
yeah.
I got it here. The token represents dollar deposits at the bank and runs on Coinbase, allowing instant 24/7 payments.
Yeah, so to me, it's being that on Coinbase, that would be, I think, a net positive for Circle. Anyway, whatever, it doesn't matter. The chart looks like shit, so I don't really care. Um, Same thing with oh, and then AMD is the other big gapper. We talked about this yesterday during the conference. Man, Brocco, this is like the exact same. In fact, do you have the I'd love to see like a 30-minute chart of December 7th, 2023 AMD price action. Um, I remember that day as if it was yesterday. Right here. December 6th, I'm sorry. So this was the day of AMD's conference in 2023. And another really
This is
strong
it in
look,
the chat. This is December 6th to 7th.
and that's the intraday action.
Hmm.
Okay, so it spiked more at the open and then came all the way back in and then gap the next day. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was midday. Um, and closed low, right just below the 20 MA, and the next day gapped up, massive kicker candle, massive volume, and then the stock ended up going right 120 something all the way up to 220, pretty much in a straight line. Here was Nvidia's earnings day in February. Anyways, just kind of have like a little like flashbacks of that. It's charts in a different location. This being probably the strongest. Maybe Amazon or Google is stronger, but I would probably put the three of these as three of the strongest charts in the entire market right now in terms of like their notoriety and impact and all that. We've got a similar little look here. Really big spike on during the conference. Kind of came back in. Never came below that hourly. or 30-minute kind of push candle. Which again is why, sometimes you think of these, hourly candles, as they're building out here as daily candles, like where would be a sensible spot to place my stop. And there's been a few questions in the chat, like, how do I manage something that might not have cushion yet, but hasn't quite invalidated my stop. And this is a good example of that, to where your risk area, right? Your stop where you place that invalidation, should be sensible and logical, and not just a product of I want to only risk 1% arbitrarily, right? And so that should be sensible. Anyways, pulled back into about 237, and today is gapping up after they announced just impressive numbers about their revenue growth and about their margins, most notably. And the stock is trading 252 right now, is just under 254 a few minutes ago, gapping up 6%. They've got that classic kicker candle look, right? Gapping over, a significant range, gapping over yesterday's close, yesterday's high, etc. The last one we talked about of one of these kicker candles that was setting up was this XPEV on Wednesday into Thursday of last week, right? Similar thing, really attractive looking chart, pulls back, closes weak the next day, gaps up over those highs. This one's a little bit unique because then the next day this kind of like did like a little up down up down up down situation, where it had put in like bullish kicker, bearish kicker, bullish. That's just crazy.
The old
But
Dipsy Doo Dunkaroo.
yeah, Dipsy Doo Dunkaroo and a half, if you ask me. So, anyways, this is something to watch. I imagine that a lot of is going to trade pretty decent volume today. This is probably one where you're going to want to mark out the pre-market and after hours low, 248, 244, or kind of the post-market pullbacks spots, and then look for pretty simply look for two things, which is a push at open that's going to be tough, or a pullback into some of these areas around this zone, most likely should line up with 30-minute or hourly moving averages, and offer some sort of pullback entry, in my opinion. So you can take a look at that. And then, the other stock that I mostly want to bring up is this PUMP. And I keep trying to make like a G unit or a 50 Cent joke about the old song PIMP. Bracco, do you know that song?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just checking. I wasn't sure. Anyways, this is a high volume close, $11.10. Nice tight flag here. This did its highest volume ever here. Inside day yesterday, pretty simple. This pushes over that $11.10 spot. I will be looking to get involved in that, see if this has some traders and momentum in it. Looking for it to push probably into this like 14 to 16-ish range. I mean, that's a pretty exceptional or pretty large move. So first area probably about 1270. Anyways, we'll see if that gets going. Got a couple other things that we're looking at, but really quickly, just wanted to cover some of the indexes. Since Friday, right? Big move off the 50-day moving average, big reversal, big gap up Monday. Nice tight range inside day yesterday above the moving averages. One more of these would have been nice. In fact, like a little bit weaker of an open would have been a little bit nicer. That defends the 20 May, but we've got 1 day, 2 days, and 3 days with our close above the 20 May and our low above the 20 May today. As long as we hold whatever 617, 618 today, we're gonna have three lows above the 20-day moving average, which is nice, which is notable. We do have this bearish gap up above here to be mindful of around 627-ish, give or take. Yeah, about 627. Um, which goes all the way up to 632, which I've got marked out here. Um, Likely going to give a little bit of trouble. And then the other thing that I want to mention is IWM, which is right at this big 245 spot. Why is this 245 spot important? Well, it's the 2021 high, it's the post-election 2024 high, and it is, well, right here. This is, what Dr. Eric Wish would call the GLB, green line breakout. And when stocks are trading above those recent and most notable highs, it is very advantageous to be involved and participate, and can be a major tailwind. So 245 is a really important spot. And if you zoom in here, 245.24 is the high of Monday. Would like to see us get over that. That would add some, favorability into the price action. ARC still is a little bit tough. SPY and Dow Jones are trading a little bit better given the movements in financials and healthcare and energy over the past few days, few weeks. So just something to be mindful of. But so far this morning, we've got the QQQ leading the charge. Anyways, Bracco, over to you. How you feeling, sir?
Hey, you want to bring your screen down? I'll bring mine up real quick. Yeah, so I actually think, do I sound okay? Is my mic good?
You sound
I was
glorious.
messing with some settings. Okay. I messaged this in the chat earlier, but I think today is going to be pretty important as far as where we close. Could be today, could be tomorrow. But I'm going to start, yesterday you guys heard me on Zoom. I wasn't interested in really anything. Had a feeling we'd trade a pretty low volume day. A lot of inside bars, a lot of low volume days. Not surprising. It was a bank holiday. Pre-market felt pretty quiet. Something's, sold off in the morning. We kind of recovered into the close. But, we're coming into a really interesting spot now. Obviously, we've seen money rotating into healthcare. Saw some energy stocks pretty strong yesterday. Financials are up near all-time highs. At least a few of the leading bank stocks and stuff like that. And, now we're up into this bearish gap, right? Now, in a perfect world after that 50-day hold on Friday, we would have gapped up a little bit and kind of came back and backfilled into the gap for a higher low somewhere. 610, 612, really kind of the area I was watching. We didn't get that, so it makes, you know, progressive exposure a little more difficult, right? Because we're kind of just going vertical back up into this bearish gap with just 1 day of rest. Now that 1 day of rest sets us up for a push up into that today. But with money rotating elsewhere, it is really interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see, if sellers are back up here at this bearish gap. So, really, like you said, 627, 632 on the Qs is going to be a big kind of area to keep an eye on today and tomorrow. And you have a lot of stocks like kind of ready to make a decision. Like just a few, like with AMD taking out this pattern today, and the way SMH looks in kind of this like high tight flag look where you kind of had like the island bottom with Friday's candle, and obviously semis were a little weak yesterday with kind of Nvidia leading the way down, and then now we're gapping up with the kicker candle over previous day's high. AMD is kind of leading the charge. If is SMH going to be able to take this out, or does AMD fail, Nvidia stays weak, and these semis fail and come back down, is something to be mindful of, and something I'm going to be watching for. Some other charts like Tesla really tight here, looks ready to make a decision. Sitting just below the moving averages. A lot of stocks are kind of set up like this, where they're like pinched between the 50-day and like the 9 and 20 above, with like a tight inside bar and like a tight 65-minute range. So I'm kind of looking at like, can these follow through today? Can we close strong near the end of the day? Whether there be some, intraday kind of shake and bake action, or do we kind of maybe try in the morning and then, for some reason end up failing and coming back through? That could open the door to some like bearish engulfing candles, I think. Maybe the volume's not there for it. I don't know, but it's one of those spots where it feels like a lot of these charts are at some like short-term inflection points, and how we close today is going to be important. Like A Lab, another one that looks really similar, where you got the gap up Monday, couple tight days, really tight range. Can it wedge pop now? Right, a lot of things like at that kind of wedge pop stage right now. And can they wedge pop today, or do they get stuffed as the Qs push up into that bearish gap? You know, so that's kind of what I'm looking at today. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little hesitant to really try to get aggressive today. Obviously, yesterday was probably a pretty good day to try some things near the lows as some things pulled into support. If you were kind of anticipating this, maybe wedge pop up on some things into today. I didn't do much. I have some IWM, I have some QQQ I took last week. Might add to IWM today. Probably pretty small. I just kind of went with those because it's kind of been tough being a stock picker, in my opinion, the last little bit. So I kind of just wanted to go with the indexes for now. But yeah, like can IWM take out this 245 today? Or do we push up and get stuffed and come back through the 50-day? That'd be a pretty big like short-term red flag, and it would tell me that we're probably going to come back and retest some levels lower. So because of that, today feels kind of important. SoFi looks pretty good taking out this pivot. Lemonade, some of these things do look like they want to go. Can they go today, right? Or do they fail? There's like a lot of setups that look ready to go today. And, you know, kind of like a market wide kind of decision point, at least for like tech growth and, kind of that kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, I can't say that Pump looks good. Obviously, a lot of people watching that. I can't say I'm like in love with any individual setup or have like really high conviction in any individual name. I have like a group of stocks that do look interesting that I may end up trying some stuff on. Um, if I try anything in the morning or the early part of the day, I feel like it'd be pretty small and I'd be willing to add some more into the close because once again, I know I've said this a lot, but I do feel like the close is going to be important today, and whether we can follow through up or not, especially if the Qs start pushing into that gap, and if the semi start or SMH at least tries to take out this pattern today. So, um, yeah, that's kind of just my general thoughts today. But doing my morning scan today, it did feel like after yesterday's kind of low volume day on the market, we're gonna see who kind of wants to take control today. It's especially really interesting after we saw some like pretty aggressive rotation into some other areas of the market yesterday, which isn't necessarily bearish, but it's definitely something to track, right? So, yeah, I think that's it for me this morning. That's it.
One's I actually want to briefly read something here if I can find it quick. Um, mm, uh,
Maybe I can help. What is it that you're looking for?
Oh, with 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 some of the rotation under the hood with some of the healthcare and energy names, it's important to be mindful that you don't have to predict, anticipate, or even capitalize on some of that. Um, is you can be focused on, in fact, quite frankly, I think you should be focused on certain areas of the market as they're setting up, because most often especially over the past, gosh, 4 years, is that you've seen these like blips or periods of time, whether it be 1 week or 1 month, where energy might be in play, or whether XLV might be in play, just using that as an example for right now. Um, and it's been most advantageous to, instead of jumping around trying to chase that rotation, if you will, or even anticipate that, but to kind of stick steadfast with some of the high growth areas of the market, which is the tech, the AI, the alternative energy, right, semiconductors, some software stocks, right. um and yeah, so it's important to be mindful of. I agree. I'm gonna pull my charts up again here.
Yeah, please do.
I agree that I think today is going to be kind of important. Even looking at some of the classic like leadership type stocks, like this hood here sitting at the 50-day moving average below the 9 and the 20. You get a big candle up, that's going to look really attractive. And eventually, over the coming days, if this does get a big candle down, right, that's going to look rather unattractive again. But you do have a little bit of a double bottom right there. Things like CRDO, right here sitting right at the 20 MA. Is this going to be able to break this trend line up? Even just something random on my screens here, like CEG. I'm not really tracking this right now, but I was just kind of skimmed through it. Over the coming days, if this is able to get, a big push up, and, hang out near the top of this spot, like that's gonna look really attractive. And, it kind of puts us, at that spot where, things are where things are important. Um, so besides the few things I talked about right away early on, 'cause more people are coming on here. So looking at ARGT as it kind of builds out over the 9EMA, GGAL looks most attractive. I don't want this to turn into like a SATS situation, which it very well might be, where it just kind of consolidates forever. Um, and with the weekly 9EMA all the way down here at about $45, it very well could. But I'm still looking at this as potential opportunity in some of these names, mostly GGAL. And then, the battery names. EOSE had a little bit of a headline, not really moving much this morning. The ideal entry was, on this was, on Friday, around the, 1530 mark. Second spot was about 1610. And then now we're kind of flagging out and building here. Inside day yesterday, ideally it's kind of pulls back in, closer to 18 flat, maybe even further, and puts in a nice hold, and you can kind of risk against like Monday's low, the weekly lows would be ideal. AMPX still looks really attractive, man. If this takes out yesterday's high, this is probably actionable. Over yesterday's high, you get this little kind of shakeout, quick remount, quick pullback and higher low. I think this could be in play. Also, TE is an area of the market that looks attractive. Undercut into the support, popped up inside day yesterday. There's a little bit of the more speculative side. QS looking good. This is probably one that I'd want to wait on, let it close strong, and then maybe give like an inside day right there. I'm just kind of drawing on my screens like some of the ideal situation on QS. What else is there in terms of the battery aspect? Obviously, CSIQ kind of starting its consolidation. Um, dun, 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 dun. Yeah, Unity still tracking this, taking a couple losing trades on this. Um, Bottom line, I wouldn't even care what's going on if I would have got the proper entry on day one, which is right here on this day one pullback. Right there. Or I should have entered this, but still tracking this. This is really doing nothing wrong. And still very interested in this. Obviously, Lemonade, nice high type flag post earnings. Um, oh, I know what I wanted to mention. SANM. So this is the stock had earning. Well, this gapped up here on AMD's OpenAI thing because they sold AMD sold a major component of their data center, something or other. It's like ZT Systems, I believe it's called, to SANM for about $3 billion a bit ago. And then SANM reported really good earnings, has been extremely strong since. And given AMD's kind of comments and guide up, if you will, over the coming years, I think it puts this in play in this consolidation right here, which is over these OpenAI AMD headline highs, over the earnings highs, and kind of building out. Keep this one on your radar. It's a $9 billion company. It trades a little thin, does about, gosh, 800K shares a day, a little bit less than that. So just be mindful of that. But this is an attractive chart that I think should be on people's radar. I'll post this in my channel in a bit. Yeah. Anybody got any questions? Anything they're watching? Anything we didn't cover that people think should be noted this morning? Something that they're eyeballing. LPTH, yeah, it had earnings yesterday. Um, Not really sure what's up with this. But yeah, nice look, nice undercut of the 50-day, nice little higher low yesterday into earnings. You got a little area right here at about $9 flat on that. Um, yeah, this is probably one you can look for on the opening range break if it's something that you're interested in this story. It's not. I'd be curious to hear some of the fundamental explanations on this. Oh yeah, IBM had a big quantum news this morning. It's up at 320. I know Chartmaster alerted a buy on this at 310 on yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Um, Over this spot here. Nice gap up. Very nice chart, double inside days, huge reversal post earnings. But yeah, that was the ideal entry through these inside day highs right there. By day one, be a buyer on day one. Yeah, so if I need more rest, it looks good, nice reversal. I was really hoping this would build out here for a couple days, or at least give us like a week open. If this had a week open, I'd be a lot more interested in. Maybe I should be right over 31, but I can't justify. I just can't justify where I'm going to risk to because the ideal scenario on this is that it builds out for a little bit longer here, very near term, right on this push up, and then we get some sort of higher low, in this area in the 30 to 31 area. So, remember your, trading objective and goals. For me, it's not to buy day four into a breakout. To me, for my trading objective is to buy day one, higher low holds, across the board on, high quality setups, and consolidation. So, yeah, Reddit. Yeah, I like the undercut. I still like the weekly. Price sent alert at last week's high on the weekly chart. Below the 50-day, it's been kind of lagging. I do like the weekly still. Not quite ready to form an opinion on this yet. Again, not something that needs to be watched today. All right, market opens in 1 minute. If anybody else has anything, um,
We'll be live on Twitter and YouTube all day today,
oh, hey, cool.
or at least until we close the Zoom down.
Let's go. Let's take our shirts off.
Yeah, all right.
Wait, what?
With how some things look, I think I'll probably most likely be here all day.
Excuse me. Rocker, I can't believe you just told me to take my shirt off. What is wrong with you?
All right, simmer down.
All right, let's have some fun. AMD, watching this pump.
You looking to add to AMD today, or you got what you want?
I'd be a buyer today. I mean this. I think this is going to be watched and trade a lot of volume. I think it should. Absolutely. Get your stock boxes filled out. Ding ding ding. AMD 5.3 million shares in the first 20 seconds.
Pump triggered. It's trying to. It's decline 328 open.
AMD does have a bear gap 256. It just taps into pretty much exactly. AMD put or sorry, IWM pretty strong through 245. This hourly looks really nice.
IWM through 245. Dow really strong again. Hmm.
Bless you.
Out of the gate, advanced decline, trying to go red to green. Nice to see. Yeah, AMD has already traded almost 15% of its average daily volume. Yo, I got this new indicator. I'll send it to you, TSTR. It just shows down your volume, the percentage of its average daily volume.
Oh shit, sweet.
Yeah, got it from
Okay.
Mr. Low Risk.
And you can't put it at the bottom. I can put it just like over the volume. Hey, Zeta through its high volume close, 20.20. It is pushing kind of.
AMD opening range break. Wow, AMD powerful. SMH taking out high a day. Mags is a little weak though. Large cap tech's a little weak. Mags went green to red, but semis seem pretty strong. It's interesting.
Pump.
Pumps pumping.
There's a bunch of auto orders to that spot. See if it sustains.
Google's a little heavy.
Yeah, Q's pulling back almost flat on the day. IWM kind of leading the charge. VIX decline positive 709. VIX flat. Actually, I haven't had any movement on the VIX yet, so I have no idea.
Wow, Dow very strong. Look at this. Look at this XLF ripping. Oh, I'd love if these Qs could round out here.
Yeah, no shit. Pump quickly reversed after that. I was waiting to see since it just kind of spiked through. I was waiting to see if it would build out and hold a little bit. EOSE pulling back. This AMPX is taking out this spot right now. I'll wait to see if this 30-minute kind of builds out a little bit here. Oh yeah, Matthew, good eye on BBAI. What's up with this?
Post earnings delayed reaction.
Gotcha. It's kind of a sick candle.
Mag's taking out low day again. Interesting. So you got the Dow really strong again. IWM playing a little bit of catch up. Semis are gapping up pretty strong. AMD's leading the charge, but large cap tech is pretty weak off the gap open so far. Interesting.
Yeah, A Lab's down 4%. CRDO's pulled back, filled the gap. Hood, same thing, pulling back a little bit. Hmm. The MPX is nice and strong. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan. Morgan Stanley kind of breaking out today. Some at Wells Fargo.
Yeah, GS all-time highs.
830. Should buy this one at the April lows when it was 430. What was I doing? SMH pulling back a little bit. Q's about to close the gap.
Nvidia's gone green to red.
Yeah, so fast strong.
SMH starting to pull back now. Q's filled the gap.
Yeah, we'll get another spot on that bucket. Bucket head. This BW's been a ripper since that EP. The SoFi lemonade. Acting the best. The old snappy chat over the 2 honey day.
Q's gone red.
Steve, I know you've been eyeing the transport, so I just sent over this XPO chart. I bet remounting the VWAP right now. NBI screen to red. Very short arm on.
Q's starting to speed up.
You know, we haven't seen that set up in a while. This little Eiffel Tower action on the intraday. It's pretty clean there, sir.
SPY speeding up as well. High up.
Yeah, A-Lab's down 5.5%. You got CRDO coming back into the 50-day here right now. IBM nice and strong.
Oh yeah, PLTR is down 3.5. Back at Monday's open.
Crypto just got dumped on. All right, but yeah, 1% drop in Qs in a second. Advanced decline still at highs right now. IWM 246.
And some of these tech candles would look so nice if we reverse back to the highs today somehow. Like imagine like PLTR and like Hood and like Tesla. They like undercut the inside bar low and reclaim and like hammer today. Damn, that would set us up nice.
Right at the 90 man, the Qs. Right at the hourly 50 SMA as well.
All right, interesting morning. A little more of that rotation action.
A Lab 6.5 now. It hit our man. Joby's at high day.
Beautiful hit by Armand. I love his ability, dude. Like to just like find a setup and like build conviction in a full like playbook game plan in the pre-market and then just like nail it in the morning at open. So good at that. IWM taking out high a day. What are last week's highs on IWM? 246.26. So we're about to break it right now. Looks like. Yeah, we're about to break last week's highs on IWM. BE just swept into the gap, reclaimed the 20 EMA. That's an interesting one. Because what was that ETF again?
P something.
Oh, PBW.
Yeah.
Dude, look at this thing. Look at these two tight days here on it.
Yeah, this looks incredible.
I mean, top BE's up there, just swept, reclaimed the 20 MA. What else you got? Top holdings. CSIQ, FLNC is up there. TE.
Well,
TE looks,
They got Joby and ALB too. By the way,
yep.
ALB is new
TE and
highs.
EOSC have kind of similar daily candles. NXT, I know is in there. SLDP. Q's new lows. Wow, look
Yeah,
at this Dow go. Holy shit.
the big move on Goldman Sachs today.
Yeah, Ariel was talking about these in the pre-market.
They got UNH up 4%. NBIS below yesterday's low.
Grandpa's smiling today. Tell you that. Mags just bearish engulfed on the daily. Bearish engulfed the inside bar from yesterday. S&P 500 banking index hits record highs. Yeah, man, it's not the market I want to be heavily. I'm just gonna chill for a bit. Shorted some SNDK, huh? Okay. Hey, what's that? God, what's that name that trades overseas? HK. Do you know what the name of that stock is?
I
That
don't.
like is in the it's in that group with like MU often moves on their earnings. It's like one of those memory names.
SNDK, WDC, MU, you said it's international?
Yeah. Yeah. SK Hynix, never mind.
SK Hynix, yeah.
Dude, this chart is nuts.
Uh, how do you have it?
On TradingView.
All right. Our firm's holding up really well. You got a big spot here at the 50-day moving average and about 79 to, yeah, about 79, we'll call it. Been tracking this post earnings. I know Manor just sent something out there.
Dude, look at how this thing look at the base this thing had into April.
What, on what? SK Hynix?
The chat, yeah.
Good God.
How beautiful is that, dude?
And that's up from, and that is
And that
a,
last contraction, like in that base, the first base,
yeah.
was the April lows.
Wow. Yeah. Look at that relative strength. That's a model book stock. Like that is,
Yeah, I was also watching this for like the SNDK kind of trade if it's set up,
you know,
just to keep an eye on it. Those are like the two that they've been running hot together.
with the
Imagine seeing
banking
full
strength, with the banking strength, it makes sense for SoFi and
SoFi,
Affirm.
yeah. Give me a full reversal on the Dow and then full reversal on the Qs as well. AMD's starting to round out a little bit. AMD could be fitting that like VWAP undercut on a gap up day against the intermediate trend. Maybe not really, but it's like a setup to look out for.
Yeah, that was crossing my mind. It is something that I've been starting to implement and use on just big gaps in general.
Yeah.
The view up undercut.
Anthropic says it will spend 50 billion on data centers in the US. A-Lab back to the bottom of the range. Nice Q's getting a little pop. XPEV gone red to green. Advanced decline hit positive 900. SMH back up through VWAP. SNDK back up through VWAP. All right, let the Qs bounce a little bit. I'll be right back. Give me 1 minute.
ALB. Anybody still rocking these 2027 calls? Nice curl on AMD back to the view app. Affirm full remount to the 50 SMA. New high day. Get hit on firm, man. Or the IWM at high day now. And crowd pretty harsh pullback. Yeah, I think you got it today, man, Rev. On a firm. You can use a 50 SMA as your stop. Like that little recovery on CRDO so far at the 50. Dark, you got any thoughts on this CRDO? Perfect little VWAP reclaim. Yeah, I think so. Future dip buyer. Got about $5 a risk there. Q's back up in the VWAP. These hourly 50 SMAs, guys, have always been good to me. We want that to be curling up, but nice to see us getting over that spot on the Q's. AMD is about 40 cents away from new high day right now.
Looks like AMD's doing it.
Yes, it is. What's the highs on this? 267. Should be able to get that in the coming days. Should be able to get that. That's a headline. Anthropic unveils $50 billion investment to expand US AI infrastructure, building data centers with Fluid Stack in Texas and New York to power model scaling and AI research, creating 3,200 jobs as sites go live. So Fluid Stack's a company that Wolf and I believe Cypher had those PRs with.
Q's rejected. Mag's making new low a day. Advanced decline starting to roll over a little bit now.
Um, Put on a little candle on SMH right there.
Arcs at lows. IWM's rolling over a bit.
What the hell? Yeah, Tesla broke yesterday's low now. At 50 SMA. Mm. Meanwhile,
Wow, this
AM,
AMD is incredible, dude.
yeah,
60% average daily volume already.
yeah, its highest volume recently was obviously the OpenAI headline. I think that was the highest volume that it's done in like multiple years. I don't think it's gonna quite get there, but it should do 140, 150 million. Copy.
Man, this AMD is powerful. Wow, up 10%. A lot of other stocks on my watch list kind of just fading off.
Oh yeah, almost 263. Is he gonna get all-time highs today? I guess CRDO is actionable, reclaiming the 20 May. It's climbs back at 475. Get the VIX up a little bit. So at 17.5. SMH put in a nice high or low. Look at the way his BBAI is acting today. Mm-mm.
We got Spy filled the gap here.
Dude, GSAT, what a monster from that headline. What was the headline again? SpaceX? Damn near 50% move. Oil, new highs on UNG. Joby back red. What a piece of shit. Snow, nice pop. This CRDO looks like it wants to push back short ties. Keep an eye on this SNAM. This isn't getting any volume, so market's telling me not to pay attention to it. Never mind. Okay. I'm back at 245 right now. See if that holds up. Be alert on Intel. Got an engulfing-ish candle. This actually looks pretty solid. But if you, I mean, you literally have the choice, between AMD today or like I said, like a anything else. Yeah, I'm excited to see Open consolidate following that big move, the earnings reversal, damn near 100% move. Okay, I'm keeping this SANM on my screen. Market's wrong. I need that's my judgment. Yeah, so far it's your deal. I really like that balance. I hold at 50 SMA. Might I think intraday. Oh, I mean, I still have some some concerns around some other things around my screen. Advanced decline, like at the Astra said, is coming back to lows.
Wow, are
Um,
they back at the low of the day?
yeah, pretty much.
Holy shit, full reversal.
I
Damn,
know.
that's crazy.
It's below the hourly MA, so it really needs to take out highs in order for me to like really get interested in it. Just like I said, I wanted a little, just wanted a little teaser, little starter, little probe, little tester. What else do people say? Never mind. Can't take you guys anywhere.
Yeah, SPY pretty clean, green to red. Gold and silver are going just nuts right now. IWM new low a day. Yeah, Josh. One second. Let's see. Vic's starting to perk up a little bit, just making high day right now.
What do you got there, Marco? What's that TC 2000 code? Marco?
Can't hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, T2000 code. Just right click your screen and click add
Hmm.
to chart and then add indicator and then click write formula. Just do a
Uh,
price volume. Yeah. And then just type that in.
what is this?
And then take it and click right, yeah, click edit and then make it a last value horizontal on the top. And then yeah, and then click out of that and drag it onto your volume.
So 100.92, what does that mean?
Oh, that's incorrect. You must have typed it wrong. Slash average C. Um,
Oh, data source volume.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I got that. AMD's traded 76% of its average. It's the 50-day average.
50-day average volume.
Yep.
Sick.
Quick way to just get an idea of like our vol, you know.
Yep.
Q's took out the lows there, getting a little bit of volume. Tell you what, market's making it pretty easy for me to do absolutely nothing right now. That advanced decline round trip is not pretty.
No, not at all.
I mean, this is nice though. I hope we can like. I mean, imagine the Qs came back in like like 610, 608 or something, and built out like some sort of higher lows. God, it would make things so much easier as far as like having a good place in the market to put some risk on. We just kind of came right up into this gap up here, like vertical. SMH is holding up well though. Kind of just going to use this IWM gap today to manage my position I put on Monday. Or yeah, Monday. We lose this gap fill and come back through yesterday's close. I'm not interested anymore.
Did anybody see that Apple product that they released?
The
Is that
phone pocket?
is that a is it
No, it's real.
it's real
Yeah.
for sure?
Yeah.
Wow. That's insane. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
So I see you rocking one on Zoom.
Well, yeah, obviously.
I
It's $230.
think that's how much the phone I have is probably worth.
Send the nuke. Mhm.
How, what are you thinking? How you
I
feeling today?
feeling good. Feeling good. This is
Feeling good? Like why are you feeling good? Of
I mean, I'm happy with AMD. Get a good
course, yeah. That
good
was
trade
awesome.
under
Nice
my
work
belt.
on that.
And I like the market action. Um, I'm not gonna lie, I still am a little bit. I'm mindful that we could get like a little 1, 2, 3 type look, right? Where today's kind of that like half fake like gap up sell, and then tomorrow you gap up and push from right
Yeah,
here.
especially if we like recover a little bit today.
Yeah, or at least stabilize around
Yeah.
here. Yeah, as long as we're holding the 20 May and 617. All right, is that the level? Yeah, 617 and
Yeah,
the 20
617.
and the 20 May. Um, I think you balance out looking for setups with okay, don't get, don't get chewed up.
Yeah.
Um, and
Go back to August on the cues.
mhm,
This could be like this was a scenario I was hoping for. It probably doesn't play out exactly the same. But the second remount, not that one, but the next time we broke below the moving averages and remounted, keep going. Right here. That little see those 2 days against the 20 MA
yep,
after we wedge popped. We could be right there. Maybe we come back down for a retest. That's what I would love. Like if we came back down and backfilled some of that gap more and shook out one more time.
yeah,
But that kind of feels like that's where we're at. We got like the wedge pop and then a couple tight days above the 20.
yeah. That's it. So you think we might get you're saying you in your ideal situation you'd like another like pullback to below 617
Yeah,
into
like
some of this
6
gap.
610, 607,
Okay.
like down
Okay.
there. I'm not that I think that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just I prefer that.
Yep.
Would give us like one final chance to see what stocks are like really standing out.
So my only issue with that is I don't think that individual names can do that. Um,
That's
well,
exactly, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. Like what you're saying is if the Qs pull back that far, a lot of these individual names setting up are going to basically break down.
yeah, that
Yeah,
there'd be yeah, that
and
there'd
like
essentially be nothing
violate
short.
their bases, or at least the short-term ones. Yeah.
And I think I'm probably coming from it more as in like this CRDO is kind of like a good uh, uh example of kind of what stocks need to do is what they hold again right here and then really get pushing back up towards here and then build out a little bit there potentially for that, right? um and then meanwhile the stocks that have already that showed relative strength like Snowflake that pulled back to their 20-day moving average while the indexes pulled back to their 50, right? Your Snowflakes, your MDB, um, and then some of those earnings setups. So Lemonade's kind of tricky right now. Maybe like a SoFi, a firm, whatever. Well, these push highs, while things like CRDO push into here, build, and then potentially push higher.
Yeah.
These have the chance to push highs like this, and then set up its first little flag up here like that. So technically, I mean, we got MDB, but it should be the if that scenario occurs, these things are going to be the ones to really make strong advances, like Snow 300, 320, or AMD, by the way, new high a day. Um,
Yeah, it's nice to see Sox is like holding really well today.
forgot about that.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is like the more equal weighted one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks the same as SMH right now. I just had it up on my screen.
gotcha.
Yeah, MBIS got smoked, man. Damn. Nice, nice hit from Armand. PLTR's back into the gap. Damn, Rivian down 8%. Landers had a post this morning.
I saw that.
I just saw it.
That's very relatable. Here, actually, I want to read it quick. Um, C. Flanders 7, which, by the way, criminally underfollowed because he's the fucking man. Um,
He only 9,000 followers.
Christian Flanders says since 1010, which was the soybean sell off.
The bad
Um,
break. Yep.
since 1010, my stats have plummeted. Win rate much lower, average gain much lower. The EPs I've taken have stopped me out. The ones I've passed on went higher. God, so relatable. I've significantly reduced size, and I'm waiting to see if stocks and market can tighten up. I'm disappointed with how long it took to realize it. Something to note for the future: a huge bar on 1010 should have been a larger wake up call. Afterwards, my trading stats declined significantly, but I had enough trailing winners that counterbalance what was happening with new trades. Live and learn. Um, I mean, super relatable. I mean, when was MDB? MDB was after that, but since then, honestly, this is the only thing that um, has stuck around. It's been, really tough to get traction. And not only that, is that second comment of, things that I've passed on have kept going. SEC to consider establishing a token taxonomy. Atkins said.
Oh yeah, EOSC is getting smoked. Holy shit.
Yeah. So basically, the SEC is looking to establish their own like branch, if you will, to monitor.
Man, this advanced decline is doing like a funky thing where like for the last like 5 days it has not been able to get over positive 1,000. And gosh, I've seen this before, and to me it's not necessarily a good sign. Like you like to see gap ups this hit really high. Um, it just shows a lot of strength, and the fact that it hasn't been able to get over 1,000, I feel like I've seen this end up being followed by like some sort of like a little kill candle or like a scary candle.
Bring it on.
Yeah, please. Wow, literally the last time the advanced decline did a pattern like this was that literally that August precedent we were just looking at, where it had like 4 days of gap ups or where it couldn't break positive 1,000. The end of April
End of
or
August, you
end
mean?
of August. Sorry, yeah, end of August. XLV.
Yeah, keep your eyes on this SNTK, guys. If this speeds up and breaks lows, obviously that will be like a pretty telling thing for the market. Rocco,
What's up?
that is your real name. What is one sentence that if you could tell yourself at the beginning of this year, what would that sentence be? It is now November 12th. So we got, only like what, 20, 25 trading days left in the year. If you go back in time at the beginning of the year and tell yourself one thing, what would it be?
Wait,
January
like
January 1st,
knowing
2024.
everything I know now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
If you're a time traveler, what would you tell besides like bias and decay or whatever?
okay, because that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, like you know what I mean.
Um, like maybe if I took back with me the lessons I learned, but not necessarily any memory of like what the stocks did, I guess.
Sure, sure.
Oh gosh, that's a good question. Hmm,
You take your time.
thank you. It's a tough question because I can think of yeah. I want to pick one.
Or anyone in the chat for that matter.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd love to hear what everyone else has to say too. Yeah, I was trying to think one of my biggest lessons this year.
Focus more on higher time frames.
I like that.
Options are unnecessary when trying to grow your account. Man, you guys are smart. Overconfidence can be your worst enemy. Kimmy
Yeah,
says, Kimmy says, find uncharted territory earlier. Yeah.
I kind of agree with something like what Hoff said, or maybe like trade smaller, like trade smaller. At least I am now, but trade smaller than I mean at the beginning of the year. I feel like I was trading too big and got too overconfident. Be a better loser.
Pizza boy, that's such a I mean, it's such a great statement. Hit hard, hit it hard when conditions are ripe. Don't be afraid to walk away for a bit when they are not.
That's pretty much been the message the last week or so.
Yeah. In
At
fact,
least what yeah.
sorry to interrupt, is I do want to read that message that I posted on um September 5th, 18th, which was when right, we're having a jolly of a time. Yes, we sent this out a couple times, probably sometime in July, sometime in September, whatever. Um, where, people were getting very comfortable into the market conditions that were occurring. But I said, appreciate these times, folks. Who knows when it will end? Do not fear that or try to predict it. Who knows how far things can go? Do not anticipate that or try to predict that. Let the process occur and enjoy and do what we know we can do. There will be days, weeks, and months that nothing happens, where nothing works, where you feel lost in the market. It's brutalizing. Enough of these types of market and enough of those types of market, and you will gain the determination to appreciate this and demand the best from yourself during these times. Wow. Thanks, Patrick.
Good message.
Because it's true. In fact, you always talk about that like 1% of tilt, right? That 1% of, if by the way, if anything sudden is occurring, just shut me up. You guys talk about that 1% of tilt, of doubt, of fear, of FOMO, that seed, that grain of sand that builds and builds and actually right poisons your decision making. Um, and it's very critical to nip that in the bud. The earlier the better.
Uber downside.
Yeah, a little wiki action. Mm.
We have CPI tomorrow.
Is Tesla moving? Allegedly. We
Okay.
allegedly have CPI tomorrow. Open just hit a new high day. Speaking of, you got Tesla at the 50 SMA. It's actually sitting at S2 right now, 428. 427.95 is S2. Um, for example, for me personally, that 1% of what you call it, that Snell or not Snell, Snow and Dell sells, right? On the day that the indexes were kind of getting nasty, Wednesday 1022, and some stocks underneath the hood, right? Selling Snowflake right here and selling Dell early on my new position right here. Really was the start of it. I was trading really, really well. I mean, basically for, since early May, late April, few periods in between that, whatever. But really is that day is when I started having a bit of trouble in my decision making, analysis, confidence, and conviction and quick execution. It was after that, and then I basically carried that with me for a period of time all the way back here. Waymo beginning to offer free rides in San Francisco, LA, and Pahonix. Just kidding. The other main message that um really think more traders really need to understand, which is it's always depending, right? Like people ask the questions, hey, when is it okay to move your stop to break even? Well, it depends on a lot of different things. There's some scenarios and some stocks, some setups, some environments, some groups that moving your stop to break even is wise. Um, there's some scenarios where leaving your stop at your stop is wise. There's some scenarios where getting a cushion into positions is what you need to do. There's some times where if you're up 0.5% or you're down 0.5% on a new position, that still deserves to stick around. There's always a fine gray area in trading. EOSE down 11%. Now, if that ain't just that ain't just bullshit and a half, I don't know what is. This was a very good setup, guys. Right here on 11.7, right? On the hourly, taking out this opening range 15.30, taking out these highs 16.13, and we're back at that spot. You had 1.5 days of move, followed by an inside day, followed by giving it all back. It's just that's just tough. So I mean, so anyone feeling, again, thinking like, man, what am I doing wrong? This and that. This setup, if you take that candle right there on Friday, in May, June, July, August, September, October, you're up 50%. You're literally up 50% by now, maybe more, 60%. Keep doing what you're doing, size down, maybe be more selective and specific about what you're willing to take or not. Yeah, man, that Hertz looks good. Yeah, on the weekly, it looks similar to that Expo. Very possibly on SoFi. It pulls back here. We'll see. Um, but like I said, I wasn't super interested in it today. I mean, obviously, I was like, saw it, I posted about it in my channel last night, and I don't think I posted about it at open, but there's a workshop that sharpening trading skills that we did a while back. And Steph, if you're on here, if you remember which one it is, but we discussed trading from a position of strength. Um, and it is incredibly important
It is. Yeah. Let's dive into this.
because right here, you are at the mercy of the market. And it's fine sometimes to be at the mercy of the market, right? But that is not trading from a position of strength to buy this. I also saw, people buying some CSIQ, even like up here at 28, whatever. That's also not trading from a position of strength. Okay. Trading from a position of strength is where um first, comes from stock selection, right? Is is this a quality stock to be looking at in general, right? I'd say SoFi checks that box, right? Um, Number two is, does it have a longer time frame? So you can use like the weekly, you can use a monthly, right? You can use even a daily. Does it have the longer time frame, higher time frame structure to sustain a larger move? Okay, I'd say that's number two. And then number three is um essentially the trading checklist. Like, is my risk worth the reward? Right? Is the juice worth the squeeze? Meaning, does my stop actually invalidate the trade? And does my trigger, setup, entry, thesis actually signal potential beginning of a move? Potentially. Right? That is trading from a position of strength to where you have the advantage to let it play out, where you're not forced to make sudden impulsive decisions. So, for example, if you are someone who makes impulsive decisions that are often negative, that negatively impact your account, put some structures in place to limit those. And defining your trading objective, defining your trading strategy, defining your rules, determining what trading from a position of strength looks like, where your trade is completely or convincingly invalidated on your exit, and it is simple, straightforward idea and trigger, and it is manageable to hold and sustain for a longer term move. That's trading from position of strength, basically. That makes sense.
That makes sense. Yes.
Look at the
I
range
mean,
on like
sorry, I was gonna say, look at some of the candles. Just some of these leaders are putting in now. I mean, Lemonade, um, EOSC, obviously, and then some of like the you know, D Dog, Crowd, ZS, all reversing lows now. You gotta think if semis even get a little bit of selling pressure, Qs are probably gonna go backfill that gap.
and if SMH backfills a gap, then we'll get that engulfing. 617 though, that's a spot that I think will hold generally for now. We'll see. Or at least I'd be like a little bit weary if we close decently below. Then
God,
Broccoli,
NBIS, dude, down 10% now.
Armand, that was such a sick short. There's the Eiffel Tower set up too on the 5 minute. Haven't seen that in
On
a
what?
while. On MBIS.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that for a while.
Yeah, damn. Whoa. I didn't realize IBIT sold that much today.
Yeah. Right there. That's a classic little Eiffel Tower look.
Oh gosh, yeah. The more I scan, I'm not gonna lie, the uglier this looks. Even Rivian down 9%. Like it just broke out of a base yesterday. I mean, I'm not surprised, but not what you want to see.
Got GLD, SLV, corn, SOIB. Dude, soybeans. This looks fucking hot.
Yeah. uh, that's all you need to know. See you tomorrow, folks.
Hey, this is a sensible thesis on this. People wish was have been talking
I'm
about
not
this.
saying you shouldn't trade soybeans. I'm saying if TSDR is looking to trade a high tide flag on soybeans, what's the state of the market? Damn, Oracle's down 4% too.
I don't know, dudes. This just seems like one of those ideas that like Stanley Druckenmiller would talk about in an interview. China just told the US that they're going to be buying what is it, 20 million metric tons of soybeans over the next 2 years. And it's got this setup. We've got internationally other countries as well making agreements to
Yeah,
buy.
I'd want to trade soybean futures over soybean personally.
Yeah. Yeah, the ZS futures. No, Kibby, unfortunately, there's not. You'll have to have a futures account. I think that's sorry, Pizza Boy said I think that soybean amount is still down versus the average. US we're exporting to China prior to tariff. Yeah, but that's probably priced in, right? The best moves in stocks occur when things go from bad to not so bad. It's when the best moves in stocks occur. So therefore, if again, I don't know many details about the soybean market, right? But what I'm saying is that if that's true, then that's priced in over the past, 7, 8 months. And the move over the past 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks is right repricing the catalyst. I'm not talking like a soybean expert. I'm not. Oh God. Okay. Forget I said anything. I'll just go.
Man, round trip on this circle, huh? Remember how fucking hyped up this thing was, dude? It is back at the IPO. 'Cause, 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 'cause,
Hey, one thing to look at with some of these IPOs, again, very different market environment, right? But look at ALAB. Look at how nasty this got. This made a move from 50 up to 95, 95. Then it came back all the way down well below its IPO opening price into 36 bucks. This was before, our first well, my first. I hate when people say we are. Um before the first original trade on this right here on Friday, October 4th.
Man, that was fun.
Oh, so much fun.
Trading that thing when you found it, bro. I think you're the only person I saw talk about it before it put that flag in.
But this was a kicker candle. It's the same exact thing as like that we've actually seen a few of them lately, but it's the same thing. You get a high volume or first off, what's double bottom right on the daily on an AI infrastructure stock IPO new company growing revenues at 300 or over triple digits, made a significant advance in the first few weeks of its IPO, right? Opened up at 50, went to 95. Double bottom, increase in volume, notable increase in volume, uptick in volume over a sustained period, likely signaling some accumulative action on the stock. Again, double bottom, and then you make a large move, right? A big advance of about 50% to remount all the moving averages. You have a 5-day orderly pullback on very light relative volume. You get a weak close at the 20 MA, followed by the next day a gap up. And I believe there was some sort of analyst upgrade or PR that caused the gap up. And you get this kicker candle gap up. And this triggered over the opening range highs. I believe I bought this at $50.20, maybe $50.40, as well as the $60 calls for January. Um, and the coming days, right? A little dangle above the MAs, nothing crazy. Then I got a big upgrade on announcing our new product, or the results or specifications of their new product, right? And that put in some serious volume. And this is when it got a lot of attention. After that big gap up, nice orderly pullback, hold that $60 spot, break the flag, again, remount sideways, get nice and tight, and then just becomes a trender holding the 20 May. Earnings gap up 40%. Trend, trend, trend. Another hold of the earnings gap up, remount the MAs. Trend, 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 trend. Trend, 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 holding 20 May, and then boom, little double top, lose the 20 May, try to fight, try to fight. You either sell it on the loss of the 20 May, sell it on the lower high, and the second loss of the 20 May, whatever. And then you got DeepSeek. I mean, what a perfect sequence.
Model book IPO action. It's such a good testament too, if you go back to that IPO cycle on it, of like how a stock's character can change so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like to me, I like had a lot of trouble with that A lab setup because I was like, okay, you know, I haven't really heard about them much. I mean, it made one linear move off IPO open, which you've seen before. Like chart history to me is important. Never really looked like it made a good move, so it's at all-time lows kind of. Obviously, the flag was nice above the IPO low, but like look at how quickly it just turned into a completely different stock. Like all it took was one headline and like the narrative changed on it, a story developed, and then you get the second, you get the earnings gap up through all-time highs. It literally like morphed into a whole different stock,
Yeah.
right? I mean, and that's like a visualization of like new institutions, new participants all getting involved in this that had never touched it before, right? It's like yeah, it's like an EP kind of. I mean, it wasn't like an EP, but it was like a mini kind of EP. Or
Yeah,
like
like
when you have a real episodic pivot, it almost it changes the stock. You know, it goes from one stock to like a new one almost. Kind of like yeah.
yeah, and very quickly. So I mean, again, not saying that Circle does that, right? But I mean, A-Lab did. Again, different time in the market. This was how long has it been since its IPO? Let's just time frame this out. 5.2 months. A-Lab from IPO to the double bottom back here was probably around a similar time. Um, 5.7 months. So 119 bars. Again, like I said, I'm not saying that this does that, but I'm just saying people these days are very quick to put stocks on like their do not trade list. And this even goes into what we were talking about on Sunday scans is again, this isn't necessarily applicable to Circle. It's not what I'm saying. But people are quick to say, oh, this is choppy. Oh, I'm avoiding this. Reddit prior to earnings, A-Lab prior to the breakout at $94, right? They're so choppy. Everyone's like, nope, not falling for that shit again. It's chopped me around too much. I don't trust it, right? That was here in this base, right? You have to be careful to define the market environment. You have to be careful to um, um, dismiss regular basing behavior as untradeable choppy action, unhealthy choppy action. Because all of a sudden, this beautiful base on a stock that went from $47 on April 7th lows, 100% move up to $100 flat, going sideways for 8, 9 weeks, holding rising moving averages, putting in 1, 2, 3 notable higher lows, all of a sudden sparked and became a monster stock from $90 up to $260. Reddit, same thing. Very normal. This is one that I didn't capture that I was laser focused on, and I guess not laser focused on. And that I did let it quote unquote chop me to bits. Um, in this range right here. Big move up, sideways, reasonable basing, notable gap up on some analyst upgrade or whatever. Can't remember what it was. $150 to $250.
I guess can you hear me?
Yes.
I would say back to that one lesson you could tell yourself.
Mm,
I'd say do not underestimate how quickly stocks can go back to highs coming out of bases.
yeah.
Like like how much I doubted like an OKLO.
Mm,
Not after it already proved itself, but like as it was coming off the 200 day or like a LEU or like an MBIS.
mm,
Like, dude, I saw these things fall like 70% in just like 2 months. And I was like, holy shit, is it going to take a long time for these to get back up to highs, you know?
mm.
And then all it took was like a little bit of basic 200 day, one gap up on a headline, and these were like gone. Yeah.
Yeah. This one was I will say this one was tougher because I didn't necessarily have as much of the conviction, I
I'm not even
suppose.
talking about buying it at the 200 day though. Like I'm talking about buying OKLO like in this flag in May.
Right here.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, yeah.
Yeah. So I sold it. I had it down here at twenty
Oh,
four
that's right,
dollars.
you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I had a pretty decent position in it. And because there was a headline, there was some sort of nuclear headline, something or other. And I thought it was, fairly notable. Anyways, and then I sold it somewhere in here. What a stupid sell. I just wanted to win under, yeah. Roku scanner.
Yeah, looks like something.
Yeah, looks newsy.
Damn, USO got smacked today despite some oil energy names moving yesterday. This BTU is kind of shaping up.
Thank you. Dark pool print on Roku, 106.40. Kibby asks, isn't it safer to buy the EMA crossback that Kel talks about on something like OKLO down here? Okay, so let's look at
Absolutely.
that. EMA crossback was essentially right there. I'm gonna zoom. I'm gonna extend this up a little bit, and I'm gonna zoom it in. So here's the EMA crossback right there. It's essentially what I bought. I think I actually bought it this day,
Yeah,
right?
430 into 5-1. I think is like uh or no. Honestly, I mean you could look at it, to me 421 more looks like the action you see before like a wedge pop where it pops into the declining moving averages off an extension. Looks like it's going to H pattern and then it gets a pop back through. It was 30% 3 days because positioning is offsides. Comes back and the crossback it gave was kind of like CoreWeave on its IPO where it like undercut the base on the
Mhm.
crossback and then got like a kicker type gap up above the range.
Yeah, you're
On
talking about this
May
one.
1st. Yeah, kind of reminds me of. I mean, look at CoreWeave on May 1st. Oh my God, it was the same day.
Yeah, was it actually?
Yeah, the same exact day. That's actually crazy. But tell me those don't look identical. Yeah, literally were the two same days. And that was the first hold of the 20 man, the QQQ. God, looking back at it, man, holy shit. Looking back at it, some of this shit was so damn clean, dude.
Like the higher low that CRDO put in. You got the little pop off the lows on the indexes there. What is the lows so far here? Let's talk about the market. We're getting um so still another higher low so far in the market compared to Monday and Tuesday. We've got take a look at some of the intraday action. Very reasonable hourly. Kind of got a Q's 30-minute pivot attempt here at 620.20. Looking around. Nice hold the VWAP on AMD. Also the opening candle high or opening candle close. I'm sorry. Back up 261. Nice higher low on CRDO. We'll see. We'll see if there's anything. Advanced decline still kind of dangling down here. Positive 300. VIX chilling at 1776. See if this is just a pop and fade or This is something.
Listen, SNDK, this here's the issue with SNDK. It is oh, I'll put my screen
What's
up.
that?
I know maybe people, I mean, I see a lot of people throwing out the term parabolic short on it. And while it initially had like the, possibility to set up for one, I think people are still trading it as a parabolic short, which it just isn't. Um, you know, what do parabolic shorts all have in common if you study all of them throughout history, right? When you get the parabolic burst or the start of it and you get close to the climax, the easiest way to tell is you get consecutive increasing days of volume and consecutive increasing days of range expansion. Those are the ones that like truly offer like asymmetrical risk reward, right? This has pretty much 3 days in a row of volume declining and 3 days now of range declining. So it's like the opposite of what you want to see. So that tells me that this, it could be seen as some short term wedging up and maybe it pulls back a little bit. But to me, with how much risk you're taking, especially considering this is literally the strongest name in the entire stock market, like if the indexes rally somehow, like what is this going to do? Like it's probably going to blow out shorts like in a huge way. And that will be when it's probably the time to strike. So to me, the risk reward just isn't really attractive to me here, just because like parabolic shorts are already like so difficult to time in themselves. So when you don't get something to like even fill out like the necessary characteristics of like what parabolic shorts do show, it's like just a guessing game to me. So like makes trading something like this like really hard, especially when you look at how some names have gotten killed and what this has done the last 4 days. Like, and it's has fresh earnings 4 days ago too, So it's like holy shit. And as well as none of the other names in the group. I mean, some of them are seeing a little bit of exhaustion, but all above the 90 MA, all building higher lows and making higher highs. It's a tough trade, man. You can really chop yourself to like absolute pieces trying to take something down like this. Um, Now, I will say usually there's like an opportunity cost to focusing on these if they're not ready to, which you don't necessarily have now because there's really not much else going on out there, in my opinion. So that's usually a big issue if you're like trying to hit them and they're not ready or set up yet, is like the opportunity cost elsewhere in the market, because usually parabolic shorts coincide with like a really hot market already, right? So this is a little bit of an outlier in itself and why I'm like staying away from it even more. Maybe it is setting up a trap higher and it's going to come down, but there's no setup yet. There's no setup, and you can see how jumpy these candles are. Like that, there's nothing else to trade the market, and everyone's trying to take this down, and they just keep skipping up. People getting stopped out, and whatnot. So hopefully it does set up. That'd be awesome. I'd love for this to get a blowout day. Over 300, 10, 12, 15% day. I mean, that would be awesome. But right now, just be careful with it. Oh, IWM's coming back.
Very nice little pop on IWM. You got a couple 30-minute pivot attempts right now on some names. Added a little bit more to CRDO. We'll see.
CRDO. Mhm.
PE Andre. Yeah, 20 May open gap. Let's see what you're
Well,
seeing.
so this PBW. Um, Tell me this
Well, I'll tell you.
kind of reminds me of this. After the first 50-day hold on ARC.
Yeah.
I don't know. Q's get one more flush out. This comes down to here. These names set up again. CSIQ, BE. I mean, what could that look like on a BE? Undercut the gap. What about like I don't know, man. I don't know. Just a guessing game right now.
Chewy scanner or anything? Flashbacks.
It, yeah, as I haven't touched this since the Roaring Kitty day. I don't know. The way some of these daily charts look right now, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be tough for the market to get a sustained rally back into the close. What does NQ look like?
That's what I was just thinking, beam.
Yeah, dude, this Bitcoin and Ethereum, like these are some big spots.
They're either setting up a higher low for a wedge pop or
You're
they
gonna say
look
your
like,
classic saying, bear flag or base.
yeah, bear flag or basin. Take your bets, people. Take your bets.
Get a poly market bet going
Yeah.
in the chat.
Um,
Sponsored by Poly Market.
raise your hands, bear flag or
Oh my
basin.
God, remember when you put the bandana on? Look at the chat.
Oh
Oh
boy.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. TSER put on the red bandana and then we got the Yen carry trade.
That
Wow.
was legendary.
I remember you calling me. You're like, dude, should I do it? Can you believe he had everyone pretty much literally stop what they were doing and watch that?
Yeah, it was
Look
insane.
at that. He had over 500,000 viewers and that was 10 minutes after it started. Remember CNBC
Yeah.
when he was up there and who was it? The guy from, was it Citron?
Andrew left.
Was
Is
sitting
I
there
get
and they all just stood there and the live stream started. Kitty was just sitting there like he was like dying.
yeah, and
Oh, that
the
was one of the greatest moments ever, man.
the
That was
judge
crazy.
was like, what is I'm not sure what we're looking at.
GME was just getting like destroyed. It was down like 33%.
What a horrible picture of me. Can't believe I posted that online.
Oh my gosh, your red and green and blue charts, man.
Uh,
Yeah, just say it's AI, bro.
Palantir still at lows. Oh, small fish. I didn't make that name. Dude, it's real. Those Apple Pocket things are real. I thought it was a joke. Ah, gnarly. Yeah, I saw that post that he shared that video. Good message.
Q's new lows.
Yeah, man, I have that APPN we were talking about. That's like an episodic pivot right there on APPN.
Yeah, I saw Manor. I posted those numbers. Yeah, literally, it's like an EP. Yeah, Q's gonna try to engulf here, maybe.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Wish I had more to talk about, guys. That is just not the case. I use the wick to wick personally. I want it to engulf the complete previous candle to consider it an engulfing. Just kind of how I've always done it. Oh, I think still wick to wick, I believe. High to low of the previous day or low to high. I think it's wick to wick. Yeah. Not a fib guy, but I think I do know that, hopefully. I mean, there's some old names that just like have these really sick high tide flags and have so much volume coming up the right side. Like, what even is this? I hope I'm wrong, and I hate to be this guy, but I really think Open's just been squeezing out early shorts the last couple days. Shorts that have thought they were smart, seeing a lot of other momentum names get smoked trying to take this down. And I feel like it may end up suffering the same fate as some other names pretty soon. I have
What?
a pretty net open. I don't know. It feels trappy.
No,
We'll see
no, no,
though.
get
I
out of
hope
here,
I'm wrong.
dude.
Yeah,
Get out
yeah,
of here.
yeah. I'm gonna get up. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
What are you talking
Fine,
about?
fine
Hold
with
on. Wait,
me.
no, no, no. Let me hear you're saying that
Nothing.
open.
No, I was saying Q's double bottom.
Let's fight this guy.
No, nobody needs to fight.
No, that'd be a really bad sign for the market, I think. I don't that'd be gross. If we come back below like $7, I'd quit, I think.
Honestly, dude, you want to know like the weirdest thing ever?
Hmm.
Open and SNDK have had like the same price action the last 4 days.
Yeah.
Like as far as like how they pop up intraday. Like I'm telling you, there's like I swear it feels like there's shorts in this open that are like just getting chopped to pieces. And maybe they capitulate and this goes to 10. But like really, this and SNDK, like literally like two powerful days and then just like tight wedging up action. It's like the same thing. Do you see this silver, bro?
Unreal.
Dudes, there's so many like in my scans like these golden names, just like stocks that are gold stocks that have like crazy high tight flags. I know Ariel likes trading those, the miners and stuff.
Yeah. Hey, EOSE held that trigger day Thursday's high, 1611. I don't think I'm willing to buy the blood.
Bro. Oh. Wait a second. Wasn't this, you see my screen?
I see it.
Wasn't this the precedent we were using for open off the 50 day
Yes. That
on
well,
Carvana?
Wiz had sent that. I think it was Wiz. I'm sorry if I'm misquoting him.
Yeah, and then we looked at the double top, right?
Yep.
Dude, you know what's crazy? The market, especially the momentum side of the market, started correcting like here.
Yeah.
And this continued to climb up to and then double topped as we got like the second leg down of the correction.
Yep.
So like the Qs, yeah, the Qs fell 9%, bounced up a little bit in Carvana. So I mean, maybe Qs bounced up a little bit. Yeah, maybe if the Qs
I
end
forgot
up
about that.
like if the Qs put in a higher low here, you go revisit the highs. This could do something. Yeah, let's see how this accident pull back. That'll be the tell. Beyond too. Beyond's gonna be an important one to watch.
Are you still long beyond from 7?
From 7? You mean am I still short from 7? No. Never got to really participate in this one, sadly. Which is unfortunate because you get like one of these a year. Like that. That's crazy. What was that? 1,400% in 3 days, and then down 80% in 3 days.
Mhm.
Shkreli's getting paid.
Message not sent. Yeah, I wish I could be man Rev. I told Millie this morning on the way to school. When she grows up, I want her to be man Rev.
What a shake on this Eli Lilly. God, were we wrong on this one?
Looks almost like a little Nvidia-esque. Go to the daily on that. Look at this fake re-roll at the end of September and the double inside day up. That kind of reminds me of almost like, do you remember like when this was happening a lot on like Tesla and Google and it's
In
not ex
2023?
no, 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 just like at the end of like June maybe this year.
Oh, this year.
Yeah, Tesla had like that big high volume day at 300
Yeah.
and then Google I think
Mm-hmm.
had one right there in
Yeah.
May. No, this one back the early May on Google. Anyways, and then breaks that up and then spike, 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 spike.
Reminds me of this right here.
Yeah. 9/11, 2024.
Yeah. Double in the inside, double inside and up.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. Um, I think I'm gonna go take a break. We can touch some grass. I do not want to sit here all day.
I'd like to do some work
Yeah,
on.
I kind of just kept taking notes kind of all day what we are talking about for the video later.
Okay.
I think there is some good things to touch on, and then I'll come back like an hour, gather maybe a few more notes. What do you think?
What?
Should we do a workshop this week?
Dude, I don't know what to talk about. If I'm being honest, I'd rather take that time and
Okay.
work on this.
Maybe I could do one tonight. I'll see. Bro, go work on it. What are you doing here?
Oh, I mean,
There's nothing for you to your time is much better
oh,
spent
dude,
on
by the
that.
way, we didn't even talk about this on Zoom, but my day yesterday morning was fucking
Oh yeah,
horrible.
you didn't say anything about what happened.
No, it was god awful.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I mean, I felt bad, but I saw your text and I couldn't help but just like laugh.
Yeah,
It was hilarious. I
it's
was like,
just
of course, this like what like this only happens to you. I swear.
it does. And God, I mean, all my friends, if like for a lifetime, like they hear things like this. If I even talk to them still, they're just like, yeah, that's I'm not surprised, man.
Sounds like Patrick.
Yeah. No, my window in our Equinox got shattered, I assume by a human being, trying to jack our shit. And of course, our camera wasn't plugged in because whatever. because I bought a table saw and was using the extension cord from the out anyways. So yeah, had to go to Safe Light repair, Safe Light replace to get that shit fixed in the morning at my home. Yeah. We live in kind of a shitty area. I mean, it's a nice house. I like our house, but the area sucks ass. Um, and we're parked outside in the driveway. And sure enough, I mean, we had our car stolen from our driveway.
Yeah.
Gosh, this was 2 years ago, sometime 2023, maybe 2022. I stole it back. It was a scary day. I did. I hunted them down and stole it back. Oh shit, we're live publicly, aren't we? Oops. What are you
You're
gonna
the
do?
best, dude.
I did steal it back. I was getting hits on my credit card at a gas station, like not far away, but in an part of town that I don't travel to. And
Oh man.
I'm like, what the hell? So I call up the gas station. They're like, yeah, dude, your car's here. I'm like, well, can you keep the people there?
Oh
Anyways,
my God, that is amazing. I literally remember I remember that day vividly. Like you texting me about it and then like me sitting on Zoom like waiting to see if like you were going to come back during the day. And then you text me you're like, "Yo, I stole it back." I was like, "What?" Just trying to keep my composure on the Zoom.
stole it back. Open new high day. Hey, should I keep watching this Unity or am I an idiot?
Both?
Two things can be true at once. You're right. That's very true.
No, yeah,
Um,
no, yeah, I think so. Why not? Yeah.
you're right. The preface of that question was not reasonable because I want to buy it right now again.
It is interesting because it is one of those names where you would expect it to still be above the 920 and the 50, but it is.
Yeah, right.
So it's
And
interesting. It's like
just tap the
it's like
50
really
estimate.
subtle relative strength.
You know, this kind of reminds me of almost like Celsius.
Yeah.
Like, where is that? Yeah, kind of like on 10-1 almost. Yeah, maybe not. Where is that? I don't know.
It's just tough, man. Like what Okay, let me ask you this, okay? This goes back to that quote we talked about. Was it yesterday or Monday?
Monday
Monday probably. Yeah, because we were both on Zoom. It was like
were the
I
best
know it
trades.
recently had earnings, right?
Hmm.
But like what has Unity got going for them? Like what is going to attract everybody to come and buy this right now in a market like this?
Right.
I guess I mean the relative strength is one, but like I'm not gonna lie, like I think you're like not saying anything specifically towards you, but I haven't heard anyone talk about Unity in a while.
You're right.
And
That's a
maybe
good point.
that's a good thing sometimes, but in a market like this, it's like can you write up like a paragraph as to why Unity is one of the better setups in the market and like why it
As,
has a reason to move? I mean,
aside from
earnings are there. It's like it's like a lot of stocks have like had pretty bad reactions to earnings, and this is actually holding up. So it's interesting, but like I guess what I'm trying to say is like you can't get size in this
yeah,
unless you like progressively build into a position as it takes out like 52-week highs and maybe has a catalyst.
which I don't even care to if even
Yeah, so I guess you can, yeah, you could definitely buy it. I just Yeah, you probably it's gonna be tough to like get conviction in something like this.
Under the underlying philosophy of your question that you're asking is what is the additional layer of probability to tell you to buy this stock versus potentially something else or even anything?
Yeah,
Where,
but for
where
you, I guess like I understand it because it makes sense to why you want to buy it because you're one of those guys. I feel like you're similar to Christian, where like even in like a market that's like unsure or like going sideways or maybe not optimal, you're still gonna like look to get reps, right?
yeah,
Like even if they're
always.
just tiny paper cuts. Like
Yeah.
I mean, if you take a tiny loss on Unity for break even or like, 0.5% on the position, like, are you gonna be that frustrated? No. But
Yeah.
like, I know it's necessary for you to like keep trying things at good spots.
To put it into perspective, I've got 25 shares of CRDO. To put the sizing of my trades right now into perspective. Where normally I'd probably be looking to buy, I don't know, 200. No, no, I'm not. Sorry, I didn't mean James. I didn't mean for that to come off as that. Okay, I meant it to, um, I don't know, for yeah, for me or maybe so makes
Hey,
sense.
that's not as bad as remember Ross Haber, his flex on us, bro,
Yeah, buying 50,000 shares of
of a
QMCO
stock
or
that
whatever
literally
the
like
fuck.
just went to OTC overnight.
Yeah,
That's his baby size.
yeah, yeah. I seriously think I'm risking like half of 1%. Or sorry, half of 0.1%. Whatever.
Principles of trading for a lifetime. Hell of a name, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I'm glad you came up with that. That was good.
I did not.
That's a good name. Hey, your Evernote's up. In case you didn't know.
Oh shit. I didn't even know my screen was up. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. I was just gonna work on some notes.
I'm not sure. The House is voting tonight at the Ask. The House is voting tonight on the shutdown at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Allegedly, they're supposed to be voting. And even if they open the um, government, don't think the BLS, does the BLS do CPI? Would have time to come back and put that out before market open. So I'm guessing not. However, we'll very likely in the morning get the Goldman Sachs analyst and JP Morgan and whatever um, of this is what CPI was likely to come in at, right? So we'll see. My guess is no, that we don't get it. But again, just because we don't get the hard numbers from the um, government entity that puts them out doesn't mean we don't have any insights into what the CPI number roughly is and was. People are talking a lot about, are we going to get a sudden dump of data when the government opens? Which I'm not sure how they're going to put that out or roll that out when the time comes. But that only matters if the market is completely 100% in the dark about what those numbers were. And I don't think that's the case. I think the market analysts, participants have a reasonable assumption on um, roughly what some of those numbers are, were, is, was. Yeah, I agree, man. It's such a yeah. We're playing. AMD 2 hourly inside candles up here. It is an awesome story. There's a few more details that I didn't go into about it, but that shit was intense.
Dude, I'm calling it. I'm taking a break.
So yeah,